What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We just got over here to Mike's garage. If you notice, we've made some progress. We have an assembled 532 cubic inch big block Chevrolet. Boy, I'm excited. Can you tell? I'm excited. Comment, like, and subscribe. If y'all want to support the channel, go to TurboJohnRacing.com. Grab yourself some hats and t-shirts. Appreciate it, guys. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, here it goes. We have been making some work. I came over here a couple days ago. We got our rods in last week. Same GRP rods, same ones, 5500 series, but it's got the small block Chevrolet journal on it. Pin, I think is what they call it. Crank rod journal, I think is what it's officially called. I don't know what it's officially called. But we got all these in there. Pistons went in very easy, not a big deal at all. Having this installer here made it like butter. And this is the ARP one. The reason we got the ARP one, because you see we got O-ring groove here. And so if you have a flat side that does not have the O-ring step in it, the accept it, then you're gonna have a problem because this is gonna be off of the block. But you can see this one is actually, it fits down, well, it does, trust me, it works. And it's in the O-ring and it is down. It is down in there. Without the piston on, it's kind of hard to get it in the right spot, but it is. It makes it so it can go flush down on there. So that makes it very easy. The other thing we do, some people, apparently they can take and push this thing down in there. I am not one of those. So we use a hammer, use the rubber end, and just like this. And what I do is while you're holding this down on the block with one hand, and this is pretty close, you start smacking it. And what I have found, if you have a piston that has a dish or a flat top, if you hit it kind of close in the middle and you're perfect in the middle, then usually you don't have to do any bouncing around or anything. But with a dome, it's very hard to hit dead in the middle. I try, but I hit here and then kind of pop myself back and forth. And you want to get some good whacks at it when you're hitting it because, I mean, you want it to go by and get the ring down in there. Because if the ring pops out and you keep hitting it, which has happened, then you could have a problem. The way we make sure that we haven't pinched a ring, we don't have a ring that's popped out, is when you get it all in there, and I do this as I'm assembling it, you want to have some piston rock. It's hard to pick it up on film, but the piston, it rocks back and forth always. You can see it that way, see it that way, going up, going down. And so you got piston rock. And that piston rock is good and it's normal. But if you try to move one, if you get to one, you're moving it, and all of a sudden it doesn't move, then you need to pull that piston out of the hole, because most likely what's happened is oil ring has jumped out, first ring or second ring. It just depends. There could be a couple things. So you want to go through the motor and make sure they all move. And so as you do that, you'll ensure that everything is good on the ring package. Now we did go ahead and install our timing chain. We got a timing chain, not a timing belt. Got a new one here. This one is a dialer. We got it on 0. Basically, on a Chevrolet, you put the pin here, the keyway on 0, and then you line 0 up there, and then you do dot to dot. Now we're not going to even degree it. This camshaft got 4 degrees advance in it. Now granted, it could be a little off, like this timing set could be machined a little bit error or a little bit degreed off in the camshaft. But we're going to just put it dot to dot right now. Dot to dot generally is what most people do, and that's what we're going to do. If we need to advance it or retard it in the car later, we'll just have to pull the timing cover off, which is a pain in the butt. Might end up getting a belt on it at some point too. I've got a good friend, Jolene. He's broken several big block Chevrolet timing chains, and he is like, dude, do not put a timing chain on it. But you know, the funds right now, that's just what we got to do. We got to put the timing chain on it, so it's okay. And I had already purchased this over here, which we've been playing with. So this is the cam drive for the fuel pump. So it's pretty cool. So that fits pretty good. Mike knocked the ears off of this the other week when I was over here. It's coming together pretty good. We're having to play with camshaft in play here now. And basically you got shims and these shims, and this actually rides up against the back part here. And that's how you want to set your in play. It's very easy the way this is set up. Not too bad at all. So over to your right is the cam gear. Then you got the shims, and then you got the back of the pump extension. Bolt it all on, and once you bolt it all on, then you take a screwdriver and pry this back and forth, and as long as it's not bound all up, then you're going to be set. So that's what we're doing now. But yeah, so super excited. The Big Block Chevrolet is a short block. It is officially a short block now, so very, very excited about that. Mike, what are you doing over there?
Ordering a label maker.
Ordering label makers, okay.
Because I'm not running to Clayton to the shop to get my other one. I just buy another one.
Bad thing about having two shops, right?
Yeah.
Which this is the hobby shop. The other one is the make money shop.
Money shop.
So you can't take tools from there because you'll need them. So you gotta have both.
I did.
Look, so there you go. They'll go back tomorrow though. So if you notice, there is
no Procharger.
It's missing. It's missing a little bit there. What happened? Where's the Procharger at?
Well, if the guys that watch know, we did the video about putting the Procharger back on.
Right.
After it got destroyed, we gave kudos to Procharger for sending me a brand new one.
Right.
Put it on, and it sat here waiting on Alky Digger to send me the right seal for my fuel pump.
Right. You finally got that.
So I finally got that. Put the seal on it. Put fuel in it. Cranked it up. Backed it out. Let it idle for 15-20 minutes to make sure the fuel pump wasn't leaking. Pulled it back in the shop, and we were going to go to NPK.
Right.
So I put the front clip back on it, got the doors on it, and I said, okay, all I got to do is load it in the trailer. Well, fast forward to that Wednesday at the shop. It was about 3 o'clock, and Procharger called me and said, we got a problem. And I said, okay, what? And I said, well, they said that the clocking in the Procharger was wrong. And I said, oh, okay. So, can I, what do you want me to do about it? You want me to clock it? And they said, no, you need to put it in a box and send it back.
So that is actually pretty cool. So they saw the video.
They watched the video, saw the way that they sent me the new one, and it wasn't clocked the same as the old one.
And when he's saying clocking, what he's talking about is the oil slinger inside.
That's right.
Which we didn't even understand. I didn't even realize there was, I knew there was oil slinger, but I didn't realize that it was in different positions, and it depends.
There's 3 positions in it.
Like
10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 2 o'clock.
So this is the F1A, and so you can see it says it right on the tag that the tag must be up in order for it to be in the right position. And
here's your, if you
that's
look,
the old, is that the fuel or the drain?
these are the drains.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
how you know where it
it's
is.
supposed to
This
be.
one was down here.
Ah, gotcha.
So I opened this up and clocked it myself.
In which we didn't show that, which Procharger will do that, but there are some, once they told us what was happening, there's some videos we found on how to clock the oil slinger.
That's right.
Which, that obviously is going to void your warranty and, all that good stuff, so probably better to get Procharger to get the right one. But what happens is basically when this thing goes from like a belt drive to a gear drive, that's when it can change. And so he was belt drive for a long time, and he had a cog belt system on it, and then he switched to the actual gear drive. And so apparently at some point the gear drive, when it swapped over, then that's where it got clocked wrong.
The thing is, they saw the video.
Right, that is pretty cool.
And called me on the phone and said, before you need to send it back so we can fix it.
Right. So that is pretty freaking cool. So it'll be back tomorrow.
Supposedly tomorrow.
So we're going to probably take his. We might take his to, if he can get it all done, he might take his out to Rockingham with us this weekend too, to see how it runs. But they didn't do an upgrade, so they didn't get an upgrade to F3. He kept asking. Awesome, it's going to be fixed and repaired, and it's going to be proper. So that's a good thing, because like I said, I've heard of oil slingers before, but I had no idea about the clocking or any of that stuff. So that's learning curve.
The inside of and I understand why they would want you to send it back to them.
Right.
Because the oil slinger is set with dowel pins. Now there's bolts in it that holds it in place, but there's 2 dowel pins. And the inside of that is precision machined.
Right.
So, and I said, okay, when I took the cover off, I said, it's mine. It's not under warranty.
There ain't no warranty no more under that one.
So I took the cover off and I, pulled the oil gear out and and I looked and I said, well, damn, 2 dowel pins. So like always, like everybody else in the world would probably do, is go grab a pair of damn vice strips.
Right.
And try to pull the pins out.
Then you
Well,
mess
they
it all
weren't
up.
coming out, and I said, well, You know, I am not going to mess up the housing, so
Right.
I bought the good kit for a dowel pin remover.
Right.
And it popped them right out, moved them where they needed to be, and bolted her back.
It was crazy when I saw the video, when we saw the video of somebody, because there was a couple videos on YouTube about clocking the oil slinger.
Right.
And it was wild. But so his is coming together. What else are you doing? What else are you working on? So when we came over here the other night and I was working on mine and he was bored and we were kind of talking, he's been talking about like putting an intercooler on it or cooling the air, right? Because we want to make more power. We know that F1X is going to make good power, but you know, if you can cool the air, it's going to make better power.
You know, I've been looking for ways without adding any more damn weight to the car.
Right.
You know, I don't want to put an intercooler on it. You know, I was trying to figure out a way, you know, like maybe with Freon, you know,
right.
an R134, you know, I found a couple of lightweight systems and I'm like, you know, that's just not going to put out enough air. It's, you know, it's stupid. And then you were in there working on your stuff and you kicked the box and you know, and I said, well, damn, you know, nitrous. And then you told me about the Kraken.
Right.
And I said, well, damn, I bought one. It's in there in the box.
So we watched a video from Squirrel Tuned. I had watched it a couple weeks ago. They had the Kraken, the Camaro, Stephen Little. They had his on the dyno and they put nitrous on it, Nitrous Express, and they were showing the tune and the changes, and he just happens to have a nitrous kit that we were kicking around. Now, this is not a Nitrous Express. This is a nitrous outlet. But, man, it fits perfect. It's right behind the throttle body. And it'll go up to what, like
400.
400 shot? Probably ain't going to put 400 on it.
When I called, now, you know, I bought the kit. It was a brand new kit. Somebody had robbed some parts out of it, which is why I got it so damn cheap.
Right.
But I've owned it now probably 6 months and forgot about it.
It's just been sitting back there.
I got it back when we took the Vega to Thunder Valley for the back of the track testing.
Right.
Because I wanted an extra bottle. It had a bottle. So I bought the whole thing for the bottle and threw the rest of it in there.
Right. And now it's going on the race car.
So whatever parts it was missing, I called Nitrous Outlet yesterday and ordered the pieces that I wanted. And I told them I needed a number 4 block off, you know, for the fuel side, so I don't want to use a rubber nub in case it backfires and blows it off.
Right.
And he says, well, by the way, you can use that side for a second. I said, second kit? He says, yeah, if you're spraying dry, he said, run 2 kits. So that plate will go to 800.
And so obviously you're not going to be spraying that much. I mean, but the blower is going to be putting a lot of power out, but there's also a lot of heat as you spin it up. And that's why a lot of cars now, I mean, we don't run classes that say single power adder. Everybody don't care about that. Right. Well, I mean, it's just usually like 28s run or no time, no prep. You know, it doesn't matter.
Well, you know, when you get down and think about that, an intercooler can be considered a power adder.
No, that's right. I mean, it cools the air, and I mean, and then some people say dual power adders is 2 turbos, and there's a whole. We don't run in those places where they gripe and complain about that stuff.
I mean, if they bitch, I just unplug it.
So, but yeah, I mean, we're going to let the Holly do it. We're going to let the. That's what we were just pulling up the Holly over there now, letting the computer charge, and basically, he's going to have an arm switch that's going to turn on after he does a burnout, and then it's going to be a dry kit. And so, basically, what happens is the Holly, we got another solid state relay. It's going to go to the nitrous solenoid, and basically when it meets the parameter, so this car's 60 foot is really hard, so we don't need it into 60 foot. So probably maybe like 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds out.
I'd say 0.8 to 1 second out, and maybe a little longer.
Start turning it on. And the good thing is this the solid state relay, we can progress it too. Yep. So we ain't got to hit it all at one time, and we ain't gonna put like 100 shot on it to start with. And 100 shot should maybe realistically, I mean, probably 150 horsepower when it's all said and done.
All said and done, yeah.
But we'll take in the computer system, and with the dry shot, basically just add the fuel. We were just talking a few minutes ago. Generally, methanol likes to be about 1.8 pounds of fuel per horsepower. So you figure technically by math, if you have 100 horsepower shot of nitrous, you should add about 180 pounds of fuel. Unless my math is wrong. Y'all correct me on that if y'all have done nitrous dry. We've never done it. We're going to do some research.
We're going to do it.
And I mean, we're going to try it and see what happens.
My philosophy is go or blow.
He does have that philosophy. If y'all have been watching the channel much with Mike's stuff, and there's a couple motors over there that show go and blow. And so, but we want it to go.
Learn by mistakes.
And so I think it's going to be fine. I think it's definitely going to help. It's definitely, I mean, the blower, the F1X, since it's maxing out, I mean, we're going to pick up a little bit of power. And it's not like a turbo. Like a turbo, you can spray nitrous, but at some point still, the turbine side becomes a restriction. And so this is a blower car. So you don't have any restrictions on the exhaust. So the more air, the colder the air coming in, it probably will react really well. It might pick up way more than 100.
Don't know.
I mean, so we might end up, I mean, we're going to run it and get the tune real good on just the blower again. And then we'll start, 50 shot, 75 shot playing with it. So super excited about that nitrous.
Oh, and then, I might be the sneaky Pete guy. And, that second kit might be a scramble button.
That's a scramble button.
That's a scramble button. Put another 100 on it.
Now, actually, that's a really good idea. Because that's what, I mean, turbo cars have got scramble to increase the boost.
That's right.
I mean, you really can't do that on a blower car unless you throw timing in it. And that's what some people do. They hit a button and they'll put a degree or two of timing in it. But sometimes if you're running it close to the edge, that's bad. That's actually a really good idea. Second kit on a button on the steering wheel for scramble. So he's working on that.
Hit the button and pull 4 degrees.
Right. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, we can do that easily. That'd be very easy to do. So he's working on this thing. I don't know if the nitrous probably will be ready by Saturday. I mean, because we're not racing on Friday.
I'm going to finish wiring it tonight.
And then we can test it.
What I'm missing is, some lines.
Right. So. And we can do you got all the wiring stuff, so we can actually test it tonight. So we can, as long as, we should be able to do that, get it testing with like the throttle and stuff.
Throw a bottle in it and make sure the purge works. And my motor that I screwed up 2 years ago, is done.
So it's going to be picked up soon.
I can't, I talked to the Texas guy today. I cannot pick it up Friday, and he's going out of town. But it is after 2 years waiting on main caps, it is ready to come.
And that's going to be a little bit bigger cubic inches than this one.
Yes.
By what, 10 or 15 cubic inches? 434 versus 427?
434 ver's 427.
Right, so just a few cubic inches, but it's going to be good. But that's good you got 2 motors, so that's a good thing. So he's going to wire that up. I'm going to keep working on this. Going to get this thing all on tonight, hopefully. And my heads are still at Uncle Mike's, which I'm going to show y'all some updates on that soon. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. All right, check it out. Hang on. Guys, well, it looks like we've not made much progress here, but, well, I guess we have not really made much progress. I got this all adjusted finally. So we finally got this. There's a ton of little shims down there, and you just have to just play with it very so slightly. Just there's 60 thousandths, 30 thousandths, and 15 thousandths. And so that is all adjusted now. So we're good there. And so now what I'm doing, and let me show you this. This is something else that's very important, so you want to make sure you're paying attention and being careful. So I have taken my harmonic balancer bolt, and I have run it down in the crankshaft. And it is bottomed out right there. And you can see it doesn't go all the way in, right? So that's it. And so the thickness of this washer is going to be right here. So if my harmonic balancer, if it goes flush with the end of the crank here, or if it goes back some, like on Randy's motor, he actually had to have TKM. They actually machined out a piece on this washer so that it would actually go and press on the harmonic balancer. So if the harmonic balancer doesn't extend out, then you're in trouble in this scenario. It basically, the harmonic balancer will wobble, and then you'll have issues. Let's go measure it real fast. It's real easy to do. All right, guys, real easy to do. I have my digital dial caliper. Some people get mad at me when I call it a micrometer because it's not a micrometer. It's a dial caliper without a dial. It's digital. But anyway, you put it on a flat surface and you go down and you measure it. So it is that deep, 2.2 inches essentially, 2.200 from there to there. So you can take the same measurement and go over here, and the harmonic balancer is going to push on this. And if you can see, there is a little teeny gap. And so since the harmonic balancer sticks out just a tad past, hold on, take my socket off the way. So since the harmonic balancer sticks out that far, it sticks out about 15 thousandths more. And then coupled with this washer that won't go in there. It's too tight to go in there. So we get a little bit of crush. Now, I don't know what the proper crush is. I mean, does it need to be more than that? Does it not? But I think this is going to be fine because it does stick out. So if it didn't stick out, we would be in trouble. What we would be doing is machining with a side grinder the same one we used to gap the rings, we would be cutting off the end of the bolt. But we don't have to now. But it's just something to check when you're putting this together. All right, guys. Well, it's been a lot more of a struggle than what I anticipated tonight in both aspects. So I thought I had this set right, and then I got all my glue on it, and apparently the thickness of that gasket and a little bit of glue, it kind of changed my end play here on the crankshaft. But now we got it where it's pretty tight. The instructions for that was down in the actual camshaft end play box. It said 1/1000 to 7/1000. So it's pretty tight. They want it tight. It's got roller bearing on the front, roller bearing on the back. So it's pretty tight. So we're good now. It does move a tad, but not much. Next step is putting the harmonic balancer on, which we've already got the seal in. I also had to stake the crankshaft a little bit to make sure this thing wouldn't come loose, my keyway. And that is a stepped keyway. So I've not really paid attention to that before. But it's it's a 1/4 inch down in the crankshaft, but the actual end, that part there, is 3/16. So that's interesting. So we're done for the night. I do have my harmonic balancer installer tool. Make sure you have one of these. Don't just beat it on there, or don't rely on the actual bolt to pull it on. Done that a million times, but it's not the proper way. Mike, you having fun?
No.
You're not quite done either. He's got the purge working, and now we're a little struggling with how we're going to set this thing up. But we're.
He's got a video.
Oh, so Devin's got one. Devin's got a video on everything, so he's a smart dude. So he's got CAN bus. He's got the Holley HP. He does not have the Dominator. So we're going to need two.
My bad.
Well, I mean, you know, it is what it is, right? I mean, that's what you've had forever, and it's worked fine. And you got CAN bus. So you've got the CAN bus, and that gives inputs and outputs. We just got to figure out how to make it work. Because we've got to have the nitrous enable coming from this switch panel. So we need to input, and then we need to output to turn on the solid state relay. So we'll figure it out. All right, guys, comment, like, and subscribe. See you later.